Yes, Paul here, and welcome along everyone. Different sort of video this time, not really a turning video, it's an update video more than anything. I've got something like about the next 5 or 6 weeks of videos already on the channel, waiting to go on every Sunday. So it's hard, I can't really portray any feedback through the video as to people's comments and questions and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and do these every now and then. But it's just really, I say, a bit of an update. Now I've got to say, last week my 1,000 subs video went up, and I've got to say the response has been absolutely amazing. I've seen people comment on there that have probably never commented before, and they've been following me for months, so it's amazing. The wood turning community I've found absolutely unbelievable. It really has opened up my eyes. I mean, I can't remember whose video it was recently I watched, but it was their thanks and stuff like that for things that I'd done. I'm starting to change my channel a little bit, the way I record the videos. I've started, I mean, if you watch the 1,000 subs and you see there the making of the kitchen roll holder, you'll see that I've now really changed the format, the way I do my videos. I'm trying to do more voiceover. Still trying to keep a bit of music in there, because there's nothing worse than if you've got a piece of video speeded up. It might only be 15 seconds long, but because when I speed my video up it has no sound, all of a sudden you just get this deathly silence for 15 seconds. So my music, I tend to, even through the talking, have it playing at a very, very low volume, just in the very background. And then obviously when you get the quiet pieces, just pick it up a little bit, not so it's going to be blasting out in your ears, so it's still background music. Basically, most of my stuff is recorded on the GoPro, and you'll probably see there, it's actually quite wide angled. And the problem with this camera is that it's very, very zoomed in. I mean, I am here with it zoomed out at its widest, and as you see there on the tripod, it's not very far away from me. It's only, what, 3-4 foot, and it's just a full face shot. So when I tend to do my talking bits at the beginning and the end of the video, I do use this camera, but it's at the other end of my workshop there, which is only 8 foot away, if that. So, and I mean, my GoPro camera is on these arms, which can move around everywhere. I have one over my other bench there, so if I'm working on the scroll saw or need to work on something on the bench, it all works fine. The other thing as well, because I'm doing the voiceovers, I wanted to try and get something so that I could record the audio better, and basically I bought this, and you can probably see it there with the levels going up and down as we speak. So even though the GoPro camera and this camcorder are recording the audio, I very rarely use now the audio off these, and I use that for all the main audio, and then it'll also record a separate voiceover. Now, producing these videos with the voiceover does take a lot more work, and I don't think I have a naturally sounding voice, especially when the moment you put a pair of headphones on with that and sit there somewhere, hopefully quiet, and try and record what you're doing. I've found that it usually takes me about 3 times on the recording before I get it working okay. So I've basically had a table saw, a portable table saw delivered, and it's brilliant, I've got to say. I've got an unboxing video coming up. Now, I've made a crosscut sledge for the saw. I've done that mainly out of plywood, fairly thickish plywood, 10-12mm plywood, and I think I've probably even used pallet wood for the front and back supports, and it seems to work fairly well. I've also then made a wedgie sled. Done this one out of MDF. The gauge for the distance as all out of oak. We'll come to that in a moment. And my main issue is that I've found is that getting the angles right. And I've used my digital protractor and I think it's out. Because of this, because you put your wood on this bottom one and the top one here, when you do your angles you usually measure in the side here because obviously they're too far apart. So it's key that this piece here is totally parallel, and I've found that I might be a small amount out, and I'll show you that in a moment because I've got some segments on the bench that I'm gluing up ready for another project. My other issue I've had as well is that the burn marks on the wood, and it's not every time. It's not because the saw blade is not sharp. It's brand new saw blades. It's the one that came with it, and it's also another one I've bought. It's supposed to do a finer cut. I think it's something like about 48 or 62 blade. What I've currently got on there at the moment, and it's still producing some of the burn marks. So the blade is clean. It's not cut too much pine, and again, the replacement blade has only really cut the hardwoods and the MDF and stuff like that, so it shouldn't be dirty there. And I think the issue is with the fence. I have checked alignment and it seems fairly okay, but I've got a feeling it might be that obviously once you come through the saw blade, if you imagine this is the saw blade and your bit of wood has come this side and you've got your fence, if the fence is tilted in a little bit like that, it's obviously then going to nip the wood up tight. And so therefore I've started to do a lot more manual checking every time I line up the fence to do my cut. I've got my cheap pillar drill. It's not bad, it's not fully accurate, but it's a little bit out. I mean, what can you say for 60 quid? My scroll saw, it's not bolted down. There's just a wedge on the back there so it doesn't push back on a bit of wood. And honestly, I didn't want it bolted down because I want to be able to take it off the bench if I want to get to the bench, and I don't really want bolt holes everywhere. And what I found was that when I first started, that if you put much pressure on the front here, the back used to tip up. And I found just by putting this little piece of wood in the front here, across the front, I mean it's not even 10mm thick, raise the front up and it's just changed the whole balance of the thing. You could probably put so much weight on there now it doesn't tip up. So it's made a massive difference. And the other thing as well is that you get these little, obviously, holders to put your pinless blades in, and it was a real pain with the Allen keys all the while. So I got the idea from Jamie Page, JP Woodworking, and he had actually made himself a large sort of like hand screw nut to go in there. And I thought, well, surely there must be some better options there. And I found these on eBay. Probably a couple of pounds for 5 of them, something like that. And I bought 3 or 4 different sorts, and this was the first one that came through, and it's been absolutely ideal. It makes undoing that blade so much quicker and easier all the time. So my latest project, one of the latest ones I'm working on, here's the segments, and you'll see as well while I was talking about the angles, these smaller ones are actually don't really show any gaps. They're not bad at all. Quite pleased with those. But the larger ones, and you can see there, I mean I've wedged it out a bit obviously because of the gaps, so I've done it in halves and I'll sand those up and then re-glue those. But you can see there's obviously more of a gap. I mean that one isn't quite so bad. And you can see there, that's not bad at all. So I think it's down to probably my digital protractor, which is a bit annoying because I'd expect something being digital like that to be a lot more accurate. So as I say, the recording of the videos now with the voiceover takes so much longer, but I mean now I've hit the 1,000 subs and it's still going up almost daily. So obviously the more subscribers I get, and I know there are several people out there who are visually impaired. I mean, you've obviously got the blind woodturner, and when I was just doing my videos with music only, no speaking or anything like that as I was going along, obviously they can't watch them. It's no use to them. So it's hard to create a balance to please everybody, and I mean, if you haven't seen the thank you video, just go back there and watch that. And I think it's probably about halfway through the video. If you want to jump to it, look for the bit where I make the actually make the kitchen roll holder, and see what you think. I mean, I'm hoping that you'll think it's a lot more of an improvement. Hopefully, in one of the corners here, there'll be a poll to say whether you prefer the voiceover. And I'm just going to probably put a simple poll there. Do you prefer it with the voiceover and the low level music? Simple as that. A simple yes or no. I'm not going to go through all the multiple choices, and it would just be nice to get some feedback from everybody. So if you're new here, please do subscribe and click on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get notified every time I upload a video. I have project videos usually going up on the wood turning almost every Sunday. And there are a few other odds and ends videos sometimes come up during the week. For my existing subscribers, again, a big thank you so much. Your support is so much appreciated, and it's been brilliant, the feedback you've given me. And it also just makes me realise that the effort I'm putting into these videos is just so much appreciated. And it's really all those extra hours and stuff like that I do to try and improve it all the time. It's just all worthwhile. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on the next project video. Bye.